podcast that you're about to hear contains acts of sex and violence. The hosts do not claim to be experts on the subjects that they present. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Brutal Nation, a podcast series that's dedicated to lesser-known serial killers and acts of true crime. Yay!
Crime.
I'm your host, Scott Alexander, and right across from me is the one, the only, Tammy Underwood. Say hi, Tam.
Hi, everybody. Make sure my phone's on silent.
Yeah, that's a good idea, huh?
Yeah, because, people, it's Saturday.
Well, it's kind of odd when you have to answer. Go, Mom, no, Scott is not naked currently, and that's an awkward thing to be asking your daughter.
That is not a question I ever want to answer.
No, that's when she calls me.
Yeah, she kind of probably has your number in her phone because we share a contact list, but she probably doesn't realize it.
Oh, my God, you got to tell her. Meow.
Right, meow.
All righty, so it's a medical Monday, right?
It is a medical Monday, and this guy is a wackadoo.
Sweet. You keep on telling me that, and I'm watching you over there, and you're,
finalizing
everything.
No, I was working on somebody else at the time, but I keep going back. I keep thinking about this guy.
You keep making little comments. I'm sitting there going, give me some info, and you're like, no, I can't. It's like a deep, dark secret. I'm like, son of a bitch, man.
It is a need-to-know basis, and right now you do not need to know.
Got a brother a break. God damn. All righty, so what you got for us, Tam?
I got Michael Swango.
What a fucked up last name.
Yeah, known as the Dr. Death.
Ooh, was he a Nazi?
No.
Because usually when people say Dr. Death, they're talking about, I can't remember the doctor's name that was a Nazi.
His name is Joseph Mangeli. I can't remember. Yeah, maybe that's it. We're going to feature him soon.
Okay, yeah, I think. Yeah, I knew it was something. I just couldn't quite remember.
Yeah, he is going to be quite intensive.
You keep teasing me with that one, too. You're, I'm not going to do it yet because you're going to make Nazi jokes. You're going to piss off our listeners.
You are going to upset our whole German market.
Just because you're German doesn't mean that we think that you killed the Jews. You just helped a little bit. It's okay. Come on, little Jews. Get in the shower.
No.
We'll all be clean together.
You're a brat. I fucking hate you.
I'm just kidding, Germany and our German market. We still love you.
I know. I have a friend over in Germany. Marcus, woo. Anyways, this guy, I have a quote for this guy. It's actually from Hippocrates himself. And Hippocrates says, whenever a doctor cannot do good, he must be kept from doing harm.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah, you know what? I was telling my son, maybe it was just this morning or last night. I told him, I said, you know what? As many of these as we have done, I am afraid to go to the fucking doctor now.
My physical is coming up pretty soon. Because I get two physicals. I went from the DOT, but I also get a personal physical.
Oh, yeah.
I'm straight up going to tell my doctor, don't make me have to get you featured on our fucking show.
I want some credentials now.
Yeah, we're going to have we need to have a little come to Jesus here there, little Missy, because my doctor's a female.
Oh, okay. Well, mine's not, but yeah. No, and I have an opening thought, so to speak, because, you always do opening thoughts. I just do intros. But this one, I've heard it said that if you want to go into a profession that's as close to being a god as possible, you should choose to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. That's simply because they truly are the ones that we go to help us with things that go wrong with our bodies, and they are the ones we expect to save our lives.
And we expect them to know a lot of stuff. And
yeah,
my son and I were talking because on our way back from Troutdale, back to here. I started getting pains in the joint of my hip, which on my right side, and that's because I have, and I'll say it slowly because you can look this shit up. I'm not making this shit up. It's called a femoral acetabular impingement syndrome.
Okay.
And when it happened, it just came on one day, and I couldn't walk.
Isn't that the one that you were telling me that the doctor had no clue what the fuck it was, too?
Right. I get taken to the emergency room, and then finally the ER doctor came back and said, I'm going to have to pronounce this slow because I've never heard of it, but this is what the orthopedist said. And she said, it's a femoral something, you, assa me, acetabular impingement syndrome. But yeah, we trust, we trust our doctors to kind of fix what's wrong with us.
Yeah, true.
That's why now doing Medical Mondays, really, to all of our doctor listeners out there, y'all kind of fucking creep me out a lot.
They creep me the fuck out now, too. Especially, because I know I'm going to have to go see my neurosurgeon soon. And this guy was a neurosurgeon.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And I go, considering that we live in the United States where Western medicine is at its pinnacle, we have great expectations when it comes to our medical personnel.
Goddamn right we do.
However, I'm not going to stop there. The medical doctor we sometimes consider to be a god here on Earth would probably be the neurosurgeon. I've heard that even in the medical field, they are considered to be the best of the best. They are held to a higher standard, even amongst their peers. And let's just say Michael Swango was the best, just not in the traditional sense of the phrase. Okay?
Oh, you got that look on your eye.
I know.
Eyes now. So now I'm patiently waiting.
I know. This is it.
Here waiting for you.
You right here waiting for you.
Right here waiting for you.
Yeah. Anyways, just don't sing me the ultimate stalker song and we'll be good.
Jungle Love?
No. I'll be watching you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like Sting, man, honestly.
Yeah, but that is like the ultimate stalker song.
No, that's true.
Okay, so Michael Swango was born just north of here, actually, in Tacoma.
Oh, shit. That's
in Tacoma, Washington, on October 21st, 1954. But he was actually raised in Quincy, Illinois, in the Midwest.
I know where Quincy is as well.
Do you?
I've spent a lot of time in Illinois and all over it, not just Chicago.
Oh, is there a couple little Alexanders running around Quincy?
There might be. This might be.
I too am waiting for the day. So he was the middle child of John Virgil and Muriel Swango. And Michael's father was actually a career officer in the United States Army, and he fought in the Vietnam War.
Oh, wow. If you're still alive, thank you for your service and salute, buddy.
Yeah, he was distinguished enough to be listed in the Who's Who in government for 1972, 1973, which is a prestigious honor.
Yeah.
Because, they have Who's Who of doctors, students, blah, blah, blah. And I actually, lesser known fact about me, I get to put one in here like you always do.
Sweet.
I was in the Who's Who among American high school students my sophomore year.
I think you told me that, yeah.
Yeah, which is unheard of. Usually you have to be a junior. At least a junior, but usually it's reserved for seniors. And I made it my sophomore year because I'm an overachiever.
At one time you were really smart, and then...
I'm still smart, bitch.
And now you're here doing podcasts with me. So
I know. Well, that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever done.
It says a lot about your IQ and your taste.
And, kind of like...
I wouldn't be doing it with me personally because...
I was listening to the episode where you told me that my ass could eat Tokyo. And I'm like, it still sounds like he called me fat, that stupid bitch. Anyways.
You feel the love. That's my term of endearment.
It was last Monday, so fuck off.
Yeah. It's my term of endearment for you, damn cat.
I know. Huh? So, anyways, so he was in the Who's Who in government, and yet, like so many other great men who fought in Vietnam, he became plagued by alcoholism.
No, that happens. It happens to a lot of soldiers when combat.
Now even too.
I was gonna say, even returning from like the Gulf War and Afghanistan and things like that, you see a lot of drug abuse and a lot of alcoholism, and that on a psychological level. If you look throughout history, people tend to want to self-medicate, and I'm no different, and neither are you, because you and I have that history of alcohol and drug addiction.
We do.
So I'm not just trying to pin it on, hey, if you're a veteran, then you must be no, dude. It happens to those of us who've been abused, but it's self-medicating to get rid of your interpersonal demons.
Well, you know what the weird thing is besides being diagnosed with some of my other mental issues, my doctor told me, he goes, you have PTSD. I said, no, I don't. I'm not a soldier. And he goes, it can happen to anybody.
Right. That's why it's not just for soldiers. It's post-traumatic stress syndrome.
And I never thought about that, But when he equated it, when he told me about it, I was like, you know what? You're probably right, But so when he returned from his tours in Vietnam, it doesn't say how many he did, he became quite depressed as a result of his experiences there. And understandably so. It got to the point, though, where Muriel wound up filing for divorce. As a result of the divorce, Michael saw very little of his father and therefore was closer to his mother.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. So he attended an all-boys Catholic school. It was Quincy Catholic Boys High School.
Hold on. Is there any molestation in this?
Not that he has said.
I can already tell you why he did whatever he did.
There is no evidence of that, despite what you think.
No, they hid it. That's what they did. Just like the one that's across the street from where you live.
They hid it.
That's right. And hiding.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Catholics. I know I make fun of you a lot. I'll pick on a
You-
different religion here shortly.
I doubt it, but okay. So anyways, where he graduated there in 1972 as valedictorian.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And while he was in high school, he was in the band and he played the clarinet. Now, my side note here is, I don't think that ultimately has any relevance to his overall story, except to say, I too played the clarinet in school, and if we're going to make a comparison, he must be a genius.
Psychopathic killer. You play clarinet. Hold on one second. Check, please.
Are you out of here?
I'm gone. Look at the time. Emergency call. Flooding in my bathroom. I gotta go.
Did you get a call from Dave?
That's right. Hey, it's amazing. Dave called me up, and I gotta go help him.
I gotta go right now.
It's an emergency show. I'm gonna go grab my stage outfit and get the fuck out of here.
You're so stupid. So, anyways, although he didn't spend much time with his father, he did follow in his footsteps, so to speak, because he enlisted in the Marine Corps, where he graduated from recruit training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego, California. Aren't you from that area?
No, I lived up in La Mirada.
Where's that?
So San Diego is on the Mexican border.
Okay. Oh, isn't that like right north of Tijuana?
Yeah, it's north of Tijuana and Baja, Mexico.
Tijuana. I want to go to Tijuana.
If you go a couple hours north of there, you hit Orange County. And you have Buena Park, Anaheim. That's where two amusement parks are.
I was going to say, isn't that LA area?
No, L.A. is L.A. County, and that's north.
Oh, okay.
Then you totally skipped over where.
Okay, I thought Orange County was close to L.A. My bad.
It is. So if you're going from north to south, it goes Los Angeles, and then O.C., Orange County, and San Bernardino County.
Gotcha. That's all down to the 5, right?
Yeah, it's all down I-5.
Okay. That helps a little bit.
Until you get on the 60.
Yeah.
Or the 15.
Anyways, he
Or the
did
10.
shut up. He did receive honorable discharge in 1976. Okay? So, although he didn't see any action during his service, his training as a Marine instilled in him a commitment to physical fitness. He would often be seen jogging or performing some sort of calisthenic exercise when he wasn't studying at Quincy University, where he went to school. And when he was criticized by his professors, though, for anything, he was known to inflict a self-punishment of push-ups. Yeah.
I wish I had that kind of determination. Like, I've been bitching for a couple of years since I put on weight. Like, I'm going to start working out. That's what I'm doing. I'll be all ready to do it. And, yeah, you can see my exercise bike is sitting there.
Got a little layer of dust there, big guy.
Hey, it makes a great rack to hang headphones on. And then I've got dumbbells that are in my closet.
Do you really?
Yeah, and I've got the exercise bands for weight resistance.
Oh, yeah, you got one right here. We used to adjust your hat, remember?
That came with the
I know, it
soundproofing.
came with something else, but
yeah,
still.
So, yeah, I wish I had that kind of fortitude and commitment. I
Yeah.
don't. So hats off to him
and
for
it's
it.
really weird. People thought he was weird because he did it. It's like he couldn't stand to be criticized at all. And so if he was, he would punish himself.
Okay, so let's break that down real quick. I can kind of understand that.
I can too, because I used to ground myself.
So, well, here's why. You've been to our show, at least one of our shows, and you've seen me perform, you've seen me play, and you've seen me here practicing.
Oh, yeah.
I've been told that I'm a great guitar player.
You are.
And I've been told, I get told that a lot, but it only takes one person who goes, yeah, you're a piece of shit. And then
that note was off or something. Yeah.
My brain, and I don't know why, will sit there and see, you're a piece of shit, Scott. You'll never learn how to play
because
this.
it's that negative self-talk, and it's that's the talk that you heard growing up, too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is how he deals with that negative self-talk. he feels like he did something wrong. Mm-hmm. And I do the same thing. Like when that negative self-talk starts, see, Scott, you're a shit guitar player. You can't write songs for shit.
Well,
I punish myself. I will sit down, and there's been times that I've literally practiced for more than 24 hours straight.
Wow.
Just sit there and practice. I remember at one point, literally my fingers, my fretting hand, which is my left hand, a couple of my fingers were bleeding.
Wow. Well, because I know after this show, because to put it in perspective, after this show, I think it was your G chord was off.
Yeah.
And
I can't remember which guitar it was, but
it was your acoustic.
Yeah, my acoustic, yeah.
And it's like you knew that, and that's the only thing after the show that I heard you talk about for a couple days. It's like, that string was off, blah 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 blah.
I didn't catch it, and that's my job.
Yeah, well, and it's like, you know what, dude? Nobody fucking noticed, but you.
I'm a perfectionist.
I know. Well, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is nobody noticed but you, because it sounded like, the show was fucking excellent.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
It was awesome. Anyways, we digress. So when he graduated from Quincy, he graduated summa cum laude.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was awarded the American Chemical Society Award, which is the highest award given for distinguished services in the field of chemistry.
I thought that I should get that award because of the drugs that I've done in my time.
Dude, you didn't make them.
But
you
I
just did them.
And I didn't die. Side note.
Side note.
And I'm not doing heroin. Another side note.
Another side note. After graduating from Quincy University, he attended medical school at Southern Illinois University School of Medicine, or SIU. Okay? Now, there were signs at SIU that were ignored. Okay?
Okay.
His troubling behavior started while he was there, and he was undoubtedly a brilliant student. However, because he was prepared, he wanted to be a doctor. That's what he wanted. However, he preferred to work as a paramedic on the ambulance as opposed to focusing on his studies. It was also during this time that he was observed having a unique fascination of sorts with dying patients.
I see kind of a pattern here.
Yeah.
If we're talking
Dude,
about the
already?
Yeah, well, because it's a consistent pattern with a lot of our medical Mondays.
True.
They look for the weakest of the weak.
Right.
And they go, hey, this one's already dying. Yeah, why not help him out a little bit?
Well, and this is true. We do. Ow, I have a scratch on my thumb. Anyways, so, it was all, okay, got that. Some even noticed, but apparently they looked the other way when several of the patients assigned to Michael would end up coding. At least 5 of these coding patients ended up dying as a result of the code. One of his first victims, because I didn't list his victims in here because they were kind of a lot, was a promising Olympic hopeful.
Oh,
she had an accident and she was in the hospital and she showed signs of improvement. And then it's like all of a sudden she coded and died. And she was only like in her late teens, early 20s. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what his modus operandi was.
His modus operandi, you'll find out.
Oh, yeah. I'm listening.
So, yeah. His passive approach to all things related to his studies actually caught up to him right before he was scheduled to graduate. That's when it was discovered that he fabricated checkups during his rotation for OBGYN. Although many of his peers had suspicions of this back in his second year, this was the first time it actually been caught in the act.
I'm a little confused. What do you mean fabricated checkups? Like, was he a OBGYN, which is a baby doctor?
Yeah. Because they have to do rotation.
Stuff.
Yeah, they have to do rotations in several fields when they go through medical school.
So he just would just say, yeah, I checked that patient?
Yeah, or? Well, yeah, he said that he did those rotations when he didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just want to know if he what was going on with that. I was just a bit...
No, it's not like he actually went and said, I saw that patient. He actually fabricated records to say that he had actually done those rotations.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, this alone nearly got him expelled from the program. However, thanks to one member of the oversight committee, he was given a second chance and allowed to stay. because the practice at that time was such that a completely unanimous vote was needed for student dismissal. So just that one positive vote left him in the program.
Damn, lucky him.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
But honestly, I hope they gave him an ass chewing going, dude, do your fucking job.
Yeah, well, he did have to complete that rotation. I get into it here. It should also be noticed that early on in his medical school classes, many of his peers had several faculty members had serious doubts when it came to his competence to study and practice medicine. The school overlooked these concerns when they allowed him to graduate a year after the other students that entered the program with him. His condition for graduation was to simply complete the skipped OBGYN rotation, as well as several other assignments in a few other specialties as well.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it's like, a lot of these people notice the signs early on, and they always look the other way.
Yeah, I was just that's pretty consistent.
In almost every case we do, whether it's Medical Monday or Tuesday or whatever.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that because I'm still working on.
Yeah, you're working on Friday.
On a
next
Friday.
Week's Friday. Yeah.
Oh, is that one? I thought I had a two-parter.
No, you had Randy Kraft's two-part is this Friday. Remember?
Oh, I didn't know.
Part.
Okay, I thought it was that. Anyway,
no.
So I'm getting ready to finish that series with William Bonin. And you and I were talking about this earlier, is that everybody saw the signs.
Everybody.
He got convicted and sent to prison twice for the same thing.
Right. Gets out and does it right away.
Gets out, and like 3 months later, he's got victims already.
Yeah. Well, and even had victims while he was in the Nut Hut.
Yeah, when he was in the We'll get into that one on the Friday.
Yeah, that's a whole new podcast, and wait for that one. That's next week. So he starts an internship at OSU, which is Ohio State, not Oregon State, by the way. And there's actually even more red flags. Even with his shady record while he was enrolled at SIU, he managed to get an internship with Ohio State Medical Center, and later he even secured a residency at the same location.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. While he was there, several people noticed, yet ignored, the fact that many of the patients were dying quite mysteriously at an alarmingly frequent rate. One nurse reported seeing him inject some sort of medication into a patient that caused the patient's condition to decline rapidly. And when she reported it, because at the time, the only people who were allowed to give injections were the nurses themselves. The doctors didn't do it.
Okay.
And so when she saw him do this, she reported it to her head nurse, and her head nurse went to the hospital board, and they had the mindset that the nurses were second rate. Doctors were up here and nurses like way down here.
Can I say something to that? And I won't get on a soapbox. I appreciate you doctors, I really do. But y'all ain't crap without your nurses.
This is true.
I'll say that straight out. And I have great doctors that I've seen. I mean, every doctor that I've had probably for the last 20, 30 years has been top notch.
Right.
And while I have great medical, the nurses,
they are. And when my mom was working, because she just retired recently, when she was working, the doctor who was he was the doctor for the facility, he would come in to do his rotation. I think it was like once a week, once every other week, something like that, and to check up on all the his patients, as well as the ones that he oversaw because their doctors didn't come in. And he said himself, let me know what's going on because you guys are right here. And he trusted them to order the right medications, and then they would send him the prescriptions and he would just sign them. Because they knew what was going on. They were right there.
What's always impressed me, and this was even when I had testicular torsion, I had to have surgery on my nuts, was that even the ultrasound tech.
Did she swing from your nuts? No.
She did afterwards. I actually got her phone number.
I was kidding, but that's
the whole story. Actually, her and I hooked up. But that's because I made a joke. I said, if I didn't have so much morphine in me right now, I'd have a hard on. And she thought that was funny. But I kept saying, what do you think is? I can't tell you. The doctor has to tell you. And finally she said, I think you have testicular torsion. I said, what the fuck? She's, yeah, that's what it really looks like to me.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what it was. But normally, I think that nurses and techs, like ultrasound techs, X-ray techs, and people like that, they know what's happening long before the doctor ever does.
Yeah, before the doctor even comes and fucking sees you.
The doctor, I think, is just mostly, when in those cases, just kind of a mouthpiece that comes and says, yeah, son of a bitch, that's it right there.
Yeah,
that's fine.
exactly.
He was right.
Yeah.
Right on the money.
Exactly, because when I broke my ankle and they took me in for x-rays, I did ask the x-ray tech, I said, so, is it broken? He goes, I can't tell you for sure, but... And I go, yeah, it's broken. So anyways, an investigation into his practices were launched, but he was actually cleared of any suspicion in 1984 because, the hierarchy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, although it was also reported later that the management at OSU...
So hold on, he's already a doctor at this time, right?
He's an intern at this time.
Okay, good, but he got a residency.
He did end up getting a residency, and they're saying right here that he was only granted a residency because they feared he might sue them on the grounds of without cause termination.
Oh my God! Once again,
Colin.
I was just going to say we ran into that with fucking Colin, not just once, but at least 2 hospitals that did the same thing. Well, we were afraid we were going to get sued, so we just said, "Hey, why
we
don't
ended
you just..."
up with Niles Hogel.
Yep, exactly.
And Harvey.
Yeah. Just scamper along, and we won't say anything as long as you don't kill people here, because we don't.
Yeah,
want to
and
get
we'll give you a glowing recommendation.
Fucking ridiculous! Wake up, motherfuckers!
Yeah,
wake the fuck up!
Yeah.
God damn, these are the people that are going to be working on you and me. Wake up!
And he's supposed to be a brain doctor. Yeah, neurosurgeon is like they do the spinal cord and the brain, dude. Yeah. It's like, no.
At this point here, I really wouldn't trust him to change the water out in
I
the
wount
dog
trust
dish.
him to change my fucking bedpan.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
He'll Donald Harvey me. just saying.
That's fucked up.
No, right? So anyways, and because of this and everything, and after his first year of residency, they were like, you know what? You really can't stay here anymore. Okay, so in July of 1984, he went back to Quincy. And, he got a job working as an emergency practitioner, a paramedic. And when they asked him, because I don't have this in my notes either, but when they asked him why he was a paramedic, he said it's because he wanted to get more hands-on experience with people before he started becoming a real doctor.
That's a big... I got an issue with that. That's a big leap from being a neurologist or neurosurgeon to being a paramedic.
Right.
But also, once again, paramedics, you guys rock. You're way better than real doctors.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm having a heart attack right fucking now, and I have a choice to pick the doctor in the house or the paramedic, that doctor honestly can fuck right the hell off. I want the paramedic because he's trained in taking care of shit.
Totally.
That's happening right fucking now.
Totally, yeah.
That doctor's going to be, well, you're having a heart attack, but I have to run 50 tests to make sure it's an actual heart attack.
I have to do an EKG and blah, blah, blah. Where a paramedic's just going to shove that nitrous under your fucking tongue and be like, here you go, stop.
He's going to go, don't worry, get out of my way. I'll take care of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm the Superman here.
Yeah, hook up the little electrodes, all that shit. Yeah, because when they thought I broke my hip, the paramedic on the way there, he goes, ma'am, Tammy, you are in a lot of pain. And I'm like, I'll be fine. He goes, I don't really think so. But it's
just the flesh wound.
Yeah, exactly. They literally thought I broke my hip, and that's kind of a serious thing. So they did lights and sirens all the way to the hospital. I'm like, please shut them off. This is embarrassing. He goes, nobody knows it's you in here. I go, yes, they do.
They see me rolling, homie.
That's right. I'm rolling. Shut up. So even more suspicious. And then it's like, because he had a fascination with the more severe calls that they would see, like the motor vehicle accidents and stuff like that.
That makes sense given the story so far.
And I don't have this in my notes either, but he would be, even when he wasn't on duty, they would see him show up for the MVAs, and he was there like taking pictures instead of like being there to help. And they're like, what the fuck is going on?
He's an accident ghoul.
Yeah.
You see that all the time. Like, I passed...
We have a lot of rubberneckers.
I passed a wreck, when was it? It was probably close to a year ago, and there was a body. We saw him covering it up.
That scares the fuck out of me.
That doesn't bug me. It was on the other side of the freeway, and I'm not the one who's dead. So
but considering one of my really good friends died in a car accident like that, it really fucking... I go into like...
There were so many people with their phones hanging out the window. I have to get a picture of this.
Video it and shit.
I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to my buddy Phil on the phone, and I'm telling him what's going on. I want these motherfuckers to get out of my way. You know, if you want to see dead bodies, go on the internet. There's plenty of them.
Yeah, plenty. We find a lot.
Yeah, kind of a lot. You
kind
know,
of.
Mostly get the fuck out of my way because I got places to go.
Well, you know, and this is somebody's tragedy. You know, their families, it's tragic, period. Why are you videotaping it? That is just so morbid and disgusting to me.
Unless it's a stripper that you know, then we have to pay homage to her and, you know, throw a dollar bill as you go by.
You're so fucking stupid.
I'm trying to help out the strippers. What's wrong with that?
Nothing, dear. Nothing.
Jesus criminy.
Anyway.
Trying to help a sister out.
Help a sister out. What about the male strippers, bitch?
That would be me.
Sexist much? Anyways, even more suspicions came...
Should I throw hot dogs at him?
Huh?
If I see a male stripper, can I throw hot dogs at him? A wiener for a wiener?
No, dude.
Okay.
Even more suspicions came to rise when his paramedic peers became severely ill. Immediately after he went to get them some food or coffee, it was like, one time he brought in donuts, and they were like eating them, and they like, these don't like spring back. They're like really hard, you know, and he goes, oh, they're day-old donuts. And, you know, it's like the guy said within minutes, they were like throwing up in the bathroom, couldn't figure it out. And then he was they were at a football game type thing where they had to have paramedics, you know, waiting standby. And he goes, oh, I'm going to go get a Coke from, you know, the concessions. You want one? And the guy said, yeah, sure. And he brought him back a Coke. He says, and within minutes, he was thrown up.
See, okay. I understand him killing off patients.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's pretty consistent. But now you're fucking with your own friends and
your coworkers. Yeah.
There's an old saying. What is it? Don't shit where you eat.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's it. Don't shit where you eat. And that's
or in your own backyard or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing. He's taking a big power plopper.
Big power plopper. So, let's see here. As a result of these suspicions, Michael, because they even had it one time where they made sure he went out on a call because they took the iced tea that he had made and they took it to the university, and it was actually the professor that taught him in chemistry that fucking said, you know, did one test. And he's like, no, there is definitely arsenic in this.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like severe levels of rat poison.
Why does everybody want to use arsenic outside of it's readily available?
Arsenic and lace?
It's always like, you know, every time you hear about a poisoning, it's usually arsenic.
Or cyanide, yeah.
Yeah, or cyanide.
Yeah. Sometimes strychnine, but yeah.
Strychnine's so rare unless you're talking like the 1800s.
Yeah, I was just saying that's why it's like sometimes strychnine. Because we've had that in the past, but cyanide and arsenic are a lot.
Yeah, kind of a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, and cyanide a lot of people quit using because of the distinct smell.
Right.
You know, the sweet almond smell. But, so anyways, as a result, they actually turned him in. And he was charged with and convicted of aggravated battery for poisoning his coworkers.
Good.
As a result of this conviction, he was sentenced to serve 5 years in prison. Okay? When it came to his residency at OSU, a report later hinted at the fact that there was significant gaps and an obvious lack of action by the authorities at the school, despite the glaring neon signs that pointed to the wrongdoing on his part. Now, that's to say they knew the potential he had to kill people, and they just like, you know what? We're going to look the other way.
Same thing with the other ones that we feature. Is like, just don't do it here.
Right, exactly. So now the year is 1989, and Michael has been released from prison. Now, I couldn't find anything as of this at the time I wrote this that to tell me what kind of inmate he was. But I was looking at, you know, since he was sentenced in around 1984 for 5 years, and it's 89, he probably wasn't a model inmate. But then I heard later that he was and was released after 2 years, but there's nothing on him during that time afterwards until 1989, which made no sense to me.
Yeah, it kind of makes no sense. That's confusing.
Yeah. So, let's see. Okay, so upon getting out of prison, he was able to get a job as a lab tech.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody got to work. Everybody got to eat.
That's right. However, I've stated in other episodes, a leopard doesn't change its spots.
Yeah, we've seen that. It's pretty consistent as well.
Yeah. Many of his coworkers in this job also complained of painful stomach issues while they worked with him.
You would think he would have learned his fucking lesson. Dude,
yeah.
Michael, you got fucking busted for the same goddamn thing.
Like I said, leopards don't change their spots, Scott.
They all think that they're smart, and even though some of them, graduate with high honors and everything like that, it just seems like they're all fucking idiots. Jesus Christ, change that shit up, dipshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
So he also, around this time, met a lady by the name of Kristen Lynn Kenny. She's a nurse.
Kristen.
He is said to have fallen in love with, and whom he planned to marry someday. I say said here because we all know with his psychology right now, he's probably most likely a psychopath, if not a sociopath.
You think?
I believe he's a psychopath because I heard said
so
by a
too.
psychologist that a psychopath is born and a sociopath is made. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, he also legally changed his name to Daniel J. Adams in 1991 in an effort to gain employment as a doctor once again. After forging several documents that would hide his convictions, he was able to get a job for Sanford USD Medical Center, which is actually in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I only know that is because that's where my dad was in the hospital when he was in ICU for a while.
Oh,
At
okay.
Sanford. And this was in 1992. So if we weren't talking about a killer here, I might applaud him for being able to forge a factual document issued from the Illinois Department of Corrections that would falsify his criminal record. According to his falsified document, he was only convicted of a misdemeanor for engaging in a fist fight with a fellow coworker. Instead of serving the 5 years, the document stated that he received only 6 months.
There's a far cry between poisoning your fucking coworkers and getting into a bar fight.
I know, right? That's exactly what I'm saying.
Jesus
But he was able to falsify documents. He was even able to convince his future employers that he was either brought up on false charges or he was good and reformed after doing his time, that he was now ready to be a practicing physician once more.
I'm going to try that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am totally reformed from my evil ways of making dick jokes and vagina jokes and jokes about Tammy's ass.
Her mom.
And I'm not joking about her mom. I'm serious about that. But I feel it. I feel like I'm totally reformed now. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. You've shown me the way.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's all it took.
So he does make an inevitable, yet egotistical, I should have said narcissistic mistake. Okay? Wouldn't be long before Michael would go on to gain a solid reputation at Sanford as a good doctor.
Oh, sweet.
Yet he may have grown too complacent there since he made quite a big mistake. His mistake was actually trying to join the American Medical Association.
Jesus
All
Christ.
prospective members of this elite association are subject to a background check. Now, those who know the system should know that a reputable organization would probably have a more thorough vetting process than places doing the actual hiring, right? Because the AMA is very prestigious.
Yes.
They did, in fact, have a stricter verification process, and they discovered his true conviction. Their report scared his employer so much that his employers fired him on the spot.
Justifiably so. You went from, I just got into a little altercation with a coworker to, oh no, I poisoned my coworkers. That's what I did because I'm a dick.
Because they were able to trace the fact that he legally changed his name, so they knew that he was, in fact, Michael Swango. Actually, his name's Joseph Michael Swango, but whatever.
I'm glad that they did, man.
Yeah. So for a while after this, the AMA lost track of him because he was using even more aliases. With one of his aliases, he was able to get a job temporarily in New York. It was during this time on the run that Kristen left him. And a few months later, she was said to have committed suicide.
Said to have.
However, the jury is still out on that one since there was trace amounts of arsenic found in her body post-mortem.
Oh, no, he's getting reformed, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Couldn't have killed her.
Couldn't have.
Fuck.
She did it herself.
That's right, because, everybody picks up a big box of rat poison and goes, yummy.
Tasty.
That tastes great. Can I get a glass of
Less
water
filling.
with this?
Dude,
I love the buzz that it gives me.
That's right. That's right.
Fuck.
Anyways, so he's arrested one more time, and we find out the extent of his crimes. Michael, and this is what I love here, Michael was able to hide from both the FBI and local authorities in various cities he worked in by playing the ultimate game of cat and mouse. He would change his name. He'd give an alias, work for a while, and then when he thought that they were onto him, he would just leave and change his name again and go somewhere else. Okay? At one point, he even fled to a place I love to say, and my family hates it because every time there's a Jeopardy clue to do with Africa, I always answer with this, Zimbabwe.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know why I like to say it. It just sounds nice. However, the long arm of the law finally caught up to him when the FBI arrested him in June of 1997 at the Chicago airport when he was trying to flee to Saudi Arabia. So what happened is he poisoned somebody in Africa, and the nurse there found the syringe he used because he just dropped it. They say it was on accident. I don't know.
Good going, Slick.
Yeah, and there, the medical boards and the administration actually listened to what the nurses said.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, there it's like the nurses knew what they were fucking talking about. So, they made this, and he knew that they were onto him, right? And Interpol and all that shit, they don't fuck around. And so he left, and he wanted to go to Saudi Arabia, to the Royal Hospital, whatever's out there, right? And however, he had to come back to the United States to get another thing to extend his visa. And the dumb ass, and somebody said he was just cocky enough to think he could get away with it. He flew back on his real name. And while he's going through customs in Chicago, he was kind of cocky, and the customs agent had just didn't like his attitude. So he ran a check on the name because they can.
Yeah.
And that's when they found out, hey, you're wanted by the fucking FBI, you dumbass. And so they held him. Now, since there was lack of evidence when it came to his murders, he thought he was only being charged with defrauding the government by using so many aliases to get employed. Because when you send out mail with false information, it's considered mail fraud.
Yeah. Correct.
And it's also considered, I think
female
I have
fraud?
Huh?
Female fraud?
No, shut up. So as a result of this belief, he pled guilty and was only sentenced to serve 3.5 years. However, the authorities were smarter than him because they did this in an effort to use that time to acquire solid proof of his numerous murderous crimes.
I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah. Yeah,
from a mile away. Unfortunately, I think Michael over here, Mr. Swango, you think that you're way smarter than what you are.
Yeah.
You're a dumbass.
Well, and that's just it, is he thought he was so untouchable that, he could get away with anything. Investigators exhumed and examined the bodies of his former patients, and they were able to determine that he had used poison to dispense of them, as trace substances were detected in the remains of all of his victims. They were also able to determine that his crimes weren't limited to stateside. As part of the investigation, the U.S. authorities learned that the government of Zimbabwe, and I truly love saying that word, was also charging him with poisoning of 7 patients, 5 of whom died.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah. So on September 6, 2000, Michael pled guilty to more charges. This time, it was for 3 counts of murder, as well as counts for wire fraud and mail fraud. If he didn't plead guilty, choosing instead to take it to trial and being found guilty there, he may have wound up receiving the death penalty in both the United States and Zimbabwe.
They
because they have it there, too.
Yeah, they'll fuck you up.
Yeah, they will probably decapitate your ass with a machete.
Yeah, it's not like here, like you're going to get them in a bajillion goddamn appeals.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, you are guilty. And then you're going to chop your head off.
Dude,
That's it.
We have an African audience too, you dumbass.
I am so sorry, Africa. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Have you ever?
I thought you were reformed.
I get that voice because I had a boss once. I was doing cable line construction in Palm Springs, California.
Right.
His name was Mike Wahomey, and he was
Michael Homey.
No, Mike Wahomey.
Oh, Wahomey. Okay, got it.
And he was from Kenya.
Oh, okay.
He was a black guy.
Yeah.
And he talked like, and everything he said was scary. Like,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
kidding. Like, I remember when I got offered the promotion to go and become a supervisor, I get this call. He goes, Scott, what are you? I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I'm over here in, over here in La Quinta at this country club, splicing. I need you to meet me over here. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking, what the fuck did I do wrong,
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to make you the supervisor. And he was a really nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was super nice, but everything he said was scary
Yeah,
as
because they mean business. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a great guy, man.
They are business first, party last.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Little bitty guy, man. But I'm pretty sure he could have, thrown a spear and killed me or whatever the hell he could do.
Fucking fucked you up.
He could have, no doubt.
So, during his sentencing hearing, he admitted to committing 3 murders and lying about his role in the cause of a 4th death, as well as lying about his conviction in 1984, which was the mail-in wire fraud. So, one author, who is a native of Quincy, Illinois, wrote a book titled Blind Eye about the life and crimes of Michael Swango, estimates that the death toll that can be attributed to him is somewhere close to 35. However, the FBI thinks his body count is much higher and closer to 60. If this is the case, he is one of the most prolific medical serial killers in American history.
No, we've had ones that have done over
Not
100.
in America.
In America.
No.
What was Cullen's body count?
Cullen's body count was only in the 30s and 40s. I just rewrote his story.
Oh, I thought his was higher than that. I thought there was another one that we did.
No. We did Shipman, and he was 120-something.
He was Germany, though, right?
No, he was UK.
UK, that was it. Okay, that might be what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. No, because we even did Harvey, and Harvey wasn't quite that high either.
All right, I'll give that one a pass.
Well, and they could be saying at this time, too, because this was 1990s, and
that's
Harvey
true.
and Cullen were later.
That's true. They're in the 2000s.
So we have to relate all of this to at that time. So, anyways, that's all I had. So I didn't write up my final thoughts on this, but let's start with the obvious. Nature, nurture.
Nature. 100%.
Yeah.
Here he comes from a strong family. Granted, he wasn't really close to his dad because his dad's going through some shit.
True.
But
he had a very supportive mother.
Yeah, very supportive mom.
Very good education. He went to a private school.
Right, and it didn't sound like he had a lot of childhood issues. Like he wasn't getting into fist fights all the time.
Correct.
Or any bullshit like that.
Right.
He's getting along with people. He goes to a great school. He gets out. He gets great grades all the way through college.
Right.
And all that stuff. He was born to fucking do this. He's born to be a little fucking psycho.
Yeah, and the fact that he targeted not only patients but his coworkers.
That is the one that pushed me over the edge.
That says a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That's like you don't have a value for anybody's life.
I've worked with people in...
That you wish you could kill?
Oh, yeah. And not just in the music industry, but in the trucking industry as well.
Yeah.
That I have absolutely fucking hated with every fiber of my body.
Fiber, I know.
And you know what I haven't done?
Killed him.
I haven't slipped them any fucking rat poison.
True that.
I just bitch a lot. That's it. And, I may have told many people to go fuck themselves. But I'm not killing them with poison. Yeah. It's just... There's a lack of decorum with this guy. You gotta follow the serial killer rules, guys. Okay? Welcome to Scott's Tips on Serial Killer.
I know. You always give them advice on how to get away with shit.
That's not even getting away. It's decorum. Okay. To our serial killers that are listening, here's the deal.
And we know we got a bunch, so.
If you're going to be killing people, that's your deal. And I don't approve of it, but that's your deal. I'm not going to tell you jack shit.
Yeah,
it's not gonna
that's your choice to make.
It's not up to me to stop you because I'm a musician. I'm not a fucking cop.
No, it's not up to us to stop you because you know what? We want to feature you later.
Yeah, you might give a statement to the cops. And I was listening to the to Brutal Nation, and Scott said. Anyway, don't kill your fucking coworkers and people that are around you. We did another medical one where he poisoned his family members or his boyfriend's family.
His boyfriends. That was Harvey.
It was Harvey.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit. You want to know why?
Because that's a neon sign pointing right at you.
Exactly. Gather close, my serial killer brothers.
Put on your jammies.
And sisters, put on your jammies. Everybody got their hot cocoa? Cool. Here's the dealio. Don't poison your fucking family. Don't kill your fucking family. Don't kill your boyfriend or girlfriend's family.
Right.
Because you are suspect one. Easy to catch. You do people you don't know, and you don't do it in your own fucking town either. Because people are going, hey, you know what? I see Bob around here a lot, and it kind of fits
and
what's
that's
going on.
why when they're doing like geographical profiling, they always have like this circle area that's the comfort zone. Because, they look at where all the bodies, where they were picked up, and where they were dumped, and they realize, okay, they're not in this area right here. And so they locate the comfort zone because a lot of serial killers will not shit in their own backyard.
And it makes sense. Unlike Michael over here, and Michael, I hope you do hear this. You're a dipshit.
Yeah.
You don't shit in your own backyard or shit where you eat. And that's exactly what you did.
What I don't have in here as well is I attribute it to nature as well, because even in prison, he has been caught trying to poison fellow inmates.
Oh, you didn't even say that. Yeah, well, there you go. It's fucking nature. Also, a little request for our serial killers. Change it up a little bit, because if you're doing the same thing all the time, number one, it points right to you. And number two, it's boring. Jesus Christ, give us some excitement.
Yeah, we're tired of arsenic. We're tired of cyanide. We're tired of fucking like heart medication and insulin and all that shit.
Right.
It's like, you know what? Give us a fucking Lucas and Tool. Switch it up.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Take a lesson from Beavis and fucking Butthead.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead of serial killers.
Yeah.
Switch this shit up for us a little bit. Come on, man. Because it gets boring hearing, and he poisoned them with arsenic over and over again, or insulin, or, like he...
Digoxin, or fucking morphine.
Or even more than that, like he would abduct, and then he would just beat him in the head and do whatever.
Yeah.
Just mix it up. God damn. Give us some entertainment here.
No shit, yo.
And I know what our serial killers out there are saying right now, our brutal ones. That's why I'm calling our listeners, by the way, welcome to being a brutal one.
Our brutals.
Our brutals. By mixing up, number one, it takes it away from the eye on you. You get to work a little bit harder.
That's true.
A little longer.
That's true.
Yeah, and don't be a fucking idiot. And also, please, let's all make an agreement. Don't kill kids. Please.
Please.
I know, even if you're like, got that child killer molester mentality like a Catholic does for the molestation. There goes our Catholic market.
There it goes.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Here comes a lawsuit.
I was going to say, and they're going to knock on your door right now, serving you with a lawsuit.
I could practically time it down in 3, 2, 1. There's a knock. Oh, we're getting the papers and getting sued again.
You've been served.
Let's not kill kids, okay? I'm not asking much from you guys. Like I said, I'm not even asking you to stop because it's not my place. I'm not a cop. That's why I don't play the game to hunt the killer, because I'm not a motherfucking cop.
Well, yeah, and not just that. It's like, us talking is not going to get them to stop anyways. Period.
Okay, you know what? I'll do a PSA. If you're currently a serial killer, please stop what you're doing and don't serial kill anymore. Get help today. There's my PSA.
Call us so we know your name in advance.
Oh my God! If you're a serial,
we want first dibs on the interviews.
If you're a serial killer and want to keep it all secret, I don't know if I can figure out how to get us an email anonymously, like the
yeah, dude.
And we will so feature your shit,
dude. Totally.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So, so there's that. But I also have, and I've also been thinking, because it's come up in a lot of other ones that I've done, all these people that have overlooked or turned a blind eye Do you think they should be held accountable on some level too?
I've said this before, and I'll say it a million more times, from Germany to the USA to the UK. Yes, because you're just as responsible for ignoring it. Okay, and for example, let's go to my Mexican neighbors that I can't stand, okay? If I'm standing at my door and I see somebody kill them,
right,
even if I don't like them, it's my duty as a citizen,
right,
as a decent person,
right,
to be on that phone, and telling them, calling the cops. Dude, I saw him. He was, like 5'10" and a fat, bald white guy.
Dude, suspect number one.
That was exactly. He had a long goatee and tattoos, and both of his ears were like gauged. And I think he plays guitar. Oh my God, that is me. I killed the neighbors.
Oh shit.
No, and if while it's not illegal for me not to call it in, it's just being a decent person.
Right, but hospital administration, though, are held to a higher standard.
I was just going to get to that.
Yeah, they are mandatory to report.
You're in a hospital setting. You're in a medical setting.
Yeah.
You generally, people don't go to the doctor outside of normal things like your annual physical and blood work. Right. I get blood work done.
Unless there's a problem.
Unless you have a problem.
Yeah.
I have never randomly sat there and go, hey, today's a great day to pop in and say hi to my doctor. I'm just going to fucking go. No.
Yeah.
It's usually like, hey, my leg's all fucked up, or I have a femoral acetabular impingement syndrome. Yeah, it took me a while to learn how to say that one when I had that.
Now it just rolls off your fucking tongue, huh?
It took me years to learn how to say that, actually, to have it roll off my tongue.
Well,
but there's always a problem.
Yeah.
So you're in there and you're trusting the medical staff, the doctors, the nurses, even the orderlies, even the lady who is checking you in, to know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And to have your best interest at heart. So if the nurse comes in and says, hey, I've got to give you a shot of this, you're in a position where you really do need, and it is a need, not a want, but a need to trust that person.
Yeah.
That they're giving you the right medication.
True.
In the right dosage.
True.
In the correct needle.
This is true.
They're not going to tear up your arm or your ass or anything like that when they give you the pokey pokey.
The pokey pokey.
The pokey pokey.
Yeah. I hate getting shots in my butt. I mean, in my hip. I hate it.
So, with that in mind, if people are coming to their bosses, their administrators, and going, hey, look, this is what's going on. This is what we're seeing happening.
Yeah.
For the administrators.
And if he's a fucking doctor.
Yeah. And if the admins are sitting there going, who cares? We don't care what you think. You know what? I'll say this straight out, and probably some of our listeners. You deserve to be in prison, too.
Yeah.
You deserve to be in a goddamn prison because you're just as liable. You allowed it to happen.
You are. I mean, to relate it back to, to a personal level, I had to go in to see my orthopedic surgeon about my shoulder recently. And the nurse there, who knows me very well, because I've been there several times, she goes, you don't come here unless it's a problem.
Yeah.
She goes, you're not one that's in here all the time saying, oh, this hurts or this aches or whatever. She goes, you don't come in here unless there's a problem. Yeah.
That's what my last doctor told me, Dr. Coffee.
Dr. Coffee.
That's why I picked him, actually, because his last name was Coffee.
but not like the drink, like Green Mile. He goes, my last name's Coffee, but not like the drink, because it's Coffey.
Oh, yeah.
He was. I loved that movie.
I loved my last doctor. We switched insurance companies, so that's why I've got Kaiser now. But I saw him forever, and every time I went in there, he'd be, he joked with me all the time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, mine does too.
Yeah, he would be like, oh, just he knew something has to be really wrong for you to be here, because I don't just come in here for a social visit. Right,
exactly. I mean, in my last primary care, it's like he knew how I am, because I will go to worst case scenario in my head. I mean, it's not like I freaking am a hypochondriac and I'm in the doctor all the time, because I almost refuse to go to the doctor. But it's like, I'll go worst case in my head. And one time it's like, I had to call, and I'm glad he was on call, because my friend thought she was giving me ibuprofen and handed me 3 Sudafed tablets.
I got a story about that.
And it's like, and I didn't know that I had a reaction to it. And so I'm laying there, I'm sitting there, we're watching the meteor shower, and all of a sudden it's like, I felt like a vice grip on my head right? And I'm like, oh my God, my head is going to explode. I'm literally having an aneurysm right now. And so we called the advice line, and he called me back, and I was telling him, he goes, well, this is probably what happened. You're probably allergic to it, blah, blah, blah. He said, drink lots of water to flush it out of your system. And if the pain gets too bad, take your pain meds. It's okay to take a little extra and everything. And I'm like, okay. And then I go, my head's not going to explode. He goes, no. So it's like different things like that. So he knew how I was, but he also knew that I listened to reason,
Oh, yeah.
So it's like different things like that. I'm so mad that he retired. But my ortho's the same way. He knows that I'll be like, you know what? This is the worst it is, right? And he'll be like, no, I think we can deal with it another way.
So, my Sudafed story.
Oh, dear God.
This is when I was still talking to my brother, Philip. And he married this chick. I think her name was Lashana. She was a white chick with a black chick's name. Anyway, they were living in my living room when I was living on the other side of town. And it was a 2-story place.
Okay.
Well, I was sick for god-awful sick for fucking a month. Just horrible.
Wow.
And so I come home, and I worked nights, and I forgot that I'd already taken some cold and flu medicine.
Oh, shit.
And Benadryl.
Oh, shit.
And then I took a couple of Sudafed on top of that.
Oh, shit.
And I had overdone it.
Yeah, you kind of overdose it. Well, and Sudafed is the main ingredient in meth.
Well, my heart is pounding, and I've OD'd before.
Yeah.
On actual hard drugs like cocaine. And so I know what it feels like to OD.
Oh, yeah.
So I step out of my room, and I call downstairs and go, Phil? He goes, yeah. I go, can you take me to the hospital? I just OD'd. And he goes, yeah, no problem. And now everything is kind of fuzzy going to the hospital. And his girlfriend at the time, Lashandra, what the fuck was her name? Anyway, she jumps out as we're pulling up, and they come out, and what she told him is that I'd had a heart attack.
Oh, shit.
She keeps saying this on the way to the hospital. You had a heart attack. No, I didn't have a heart attack. I overdosed. I know what it feels like. You want to hear the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life? I'm getting wheeled in, and I hear, okay, get him into room number 3. I hear, code blue to room 3. Code blue. Now, I watch TV. I know that code blue is not good, and I know 3. Where the fuck I'm going?
Yeah.
That can't be good. Now, he's having a heart attack. That's what she said. I'm not having a heart attack. I overdosed. And so they're checking my pulse, and then they did an EKG on me. Hey, your heart's in perfect shape. I said, no shit.
Yeah.
I overdosed.
Code blue's heart. Code black is firearm or bomb, and code pink is a missing child. That's all I know.
I call the code pink is something totally different for me.
Oh, my dear God.
And so is code brown.
I thought you said you were reformed, Scott.
I am.
Then why are you making pussy jokes again?
Oh, my God. I wasn't even making with those. Pink is for pink cotton candy. Where's your mind at?
Yeah,
Sicko.
Okay. I know where yours
is.
is.
So they come in, and if it turns out that I had pneumonia.
Oh, okay.
Is what I had. And I'm telling them everything that I had. Yeah, you overdosed yourself. I said, no shit, doc. Because I said, I'm an addict.
Yeah.
I'm a junkie. I know what it feels like to overdose. I've been clean for, I can't remember how many years, like 15 years or something like that at the time, or 13.
That was recently then.
Yeah, was it? Well, let me think.
I was going to say, because hasn't it only been like 19 years for you?
I've been here for 8, so it was before that. So I can't remember how many years I'd been clean at the time, but I've been clean for a number of years.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, yeah, and then he gives me an albuterol treatment with the mask.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt way better.
Yeah.
And then he goes, yeah, you got pneumonia. You're not even having a heart attack. I said, no shit. That's exactly what I said when I came in here. You know how scary it is to hear code blue and my room number?
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. Because the next thing you know, they're going to be cracking open your chest.
Yeah. I'm thinking they're going to be using paddles on me and shit, or teabagging me in the mouth or something. I don't know what the fuck they do in there.
Clear.
Exactly. It's scary shit. But even in a situation like that,
yeah,
I was in a very vulnerable position.
Very, very.
And I wasn't even really fat then or anything like that. I was in decent shape.
Right.
But even in that position, there's no way I could the doctor could come at me with a machete. So it's very clear. Go, I'm going to have to chop you apart. I'd be like, I can't do this. Fuck it. Do it, because I'm too weak. I was way too weak to do shit.
Yeah.
So now you're talking about being in a position of power where, and your superiors not reporting the shit that you're doing.
Right.
Imagine being in that weakened state and knowing that you're dying because this prick
Oh, yeah.
decided that you just need to die for no reason. You didn't do nothing to him. You didn't piss in his Cheerios.
Well, I was going to say, could you imagine if he was the fucking doctor in the emergency room because he did do an emergency
Remember you
stuff?
saying that. I would hate to have him as my ER doctor.
Me too. Me fucking too. You know, because I have been in there, and there was one time when they thought I was having a heart attack because, you know, and everything, it turned out to be double pneumonia, but whatever, you know, and it's stuff like that. It's like, you know, I want somebody in there. And when my dad had his stroke and everything, you know, the doctor was awesome. And I want somebody in there that I can trust because, you know what? This is somebody's life.
Exactly.
You know, if he would have been there when my dad was having his stroke, it would have been totally different. My dad would have died or not recovered, you know.
You know, looking over here at my son, you know, even if he is in there, and he's a pain in the ass a lot.
A lot.
But...
To me, too, and I don't hardly know him.
But I want to be able to trust any doctor that checks him out.
True.
And he's grown, man. He's fucking 18 years old. He's taller than I am. He's like 6 foot tall, and you know he's built like a goddamn brick wall.
I know, right?
You know, but still, I want to be able to trust the doctors that check out my kids,
right?
And that check me out and my loved ones. Hell, I want to check I want to be able to trust a veterinarian who checks out a dog.
This is true. This is true.
Jesus Christ!
I mean,
that's fucking.
I mean, and to bring it down again, because, you know, well, and I know for a fact because, you know, I've lived in the medical industry my whole life with my mom, that emergency rooms are there to check for emergent situations.
Correct.
Okay? I had my son in the emergency room because he had the stiff neck and everything, so we thought meningitis. You know, viral meningitis, not bacterial because that, like, shows up the rash and everything. But we thought viral meningitis. So... I mean, he literally had to get a spinal tap, and it turned out to be clear. Come to find out, it was his fucking wisdom teeth. But they don't think to check your teeth.
No, because they're not fucking dentists, man.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, but at the same time, they were doing what they thought was wrong with him, and doing a spinal tap on somebody is fucking dangerous.
But it's also part of protocol.
It is. It is. But, you know, you have to think about it, too, that you have to trust these doctors to do what they're supposed to do and do it right, because in the long run, doing the fucking spinal tap could have paralyzed my child.
Well, exactly.
You know?
It's very dangerous, you know.
Very. I mean, because if he would have twitched a certain way or the doctor sneezed, anything.
Since you were around the medical field, have you ever heard the term exquisite pain?
I have.
That means
that is like beyond a 10.
That's you're in so much pain that you can literally not feel any more pain. And I got a story about that too. So we talked about when I hauled milk tankers. And
I was just saying, is this when you hurt your back really bad? Yeah.
And I was in what they classified as exquisite pain. And I was dating this girl named Autumn at the time. So she's at the ER with me. And they ran a needle. It was about a foot long. I'm not kidding. It was like that long, about a foot long.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
To give me a cortisone shot in my spine. It was probably about big around my finger.
Oh, yeah.
And Autumn is
Big
cringing.
gauge.
And she's turning away. Then she opens her eyes and she looks at, you're not even twitching. I said, because there's nothing that this guy can do to cause me more pain. I'm laying still. I'm already in a ton of pain. And honestly, I didn't feel it. I felt pressure. That was it. That's because my body shut down. My body said, oh, no, we're done. This is bullshit. We're fucking done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Right. So
It's
I've
crazy.
got nothing else to add to this. So we've been on our soapbox
We
for a minute.
we did go on a tangent, but you know, it's basically because, you know, we're tired of fucking seeing all these people turning a blind eye. It's insane.
Well,
it is totally fucking insane.
What gets me is and a little bit more Parmesan in there. My son's getting ready to help make dinner, so bear with me.
What are we having? Chicken?
Oh,
Okay.
chops.
Oh, chops. Love your chops.
Yeah, we're gonna do some chops.
I tasted that frickin' parm. I put a little on my hand and tasted it. Dude, that shit is delicious.
Yeah, you know who got me turned on to that and who keeps on buying, who's like
Phil?
my supplier? No, my sound guy, John Looney.
Oh, okay.
He sent it with Dawn one day, and he goes, have Scott try this. And I did. Oh, my God. Like I was like cracking it.
You're like out of it, dude.
I know, and John's got more for me. He's like my crack dealer. It's great.
Is he your parm dealer?
He's my parm dealer,
your
man.
Parm connect.
I meet him on the corner. He opens up a trench coat. What you need, Big Daddy? What you need? I got all kinds of seasonings and spices right here.
Yeah. No, yeah, because, you know, like I said, I am so sick and tired of hearing. And the sad part is is I'm featuring another guy now that he was active in the early 2000s, and it's still fucking happening to this day. People are still turning a blind fucking eye.
Well, it's not just in the medical field, though.
No, it's not.
It's all around. It's just what bothers me is we were talking about this a little bit earlier when it comes to turning a blind eye is so. And you guys will see this when I feature Bonin or Bonin. I call him Bonin. It's Bonin. But so during the same period, we're talking the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Right.
There was a killer that we featured named Carol Cole, and he was trying to get help.
Desperately.
He begged for help and told people, I'm going to kill people. Fucking give me some help here. And nobody would fucking help him. The only thing you guys got institutionalized, and even a doctor said, hey, he's going to kill again. Okay, get out of here, you scab. You're scamping and go on. And Bonin, they had him in prison. They had him in a mental institution. He's still trying to rape people in the mental institution.
And then they let him go.
Then they sent him back to prison for a couple of years because hey, we can't handle him here because he keeps trying to rape everybody. And then they go, okay, you're free to go. The doctor goes, hey, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Turning that blind eye. And he was arrested like twice and did 2 stints in prison before he started killing. It's
exactly.
just fucking ridiculous.
It's disgusting. I mean, and they do it with child molesters and shit, too.
Don't get me started on that.
They get them fucking probation, or they give them work release, or whatever. And it just disgusts me. They aren't, I mean, okay, we talked about it when we did Amelia Dyer. It's like, it's like letting a child molester out of jail and giving them a job in a daycare.
Yep, exactly. That's it right there.
That's what this is, and it's just disgusting to me. It's like, where is the protection? You're supposed to serve and protect.
Oh, I can tell you where the protection is against child molesters.
With the child molester.
No, I've got that 45 sitting next to my bed right now.
You can't fucking be a vigilante all over the world.
Oh, I wish I could.
I know. You got your little Superman cape on.
Superman, nothing super Scott. I just bought new boots for my stage outfit today.
Captain Save-A-Ho.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Captain Save-A-Ho. They're on order. They're going to get delivered in the next couple of days. Not here, but to the store because it saves me taxes.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea because Oregon doesn't charge.
Exactly.
That's why your son, when he buys expensive shit, sends it to my house so he doesn't have to pay taxes.
Goddamn right, man. Shit.
You know what? I got to be good for something, right?
Right. All right, so we're going to wrap this one here up because, I think we've entertained our serial killers enough. Remember, if you are a serial killer, by all means.
Yeah, our brutals.
Send us an email at brutalnation.cast@gmail.com. Check out the website at www.twistedbluellc.com. If you're going to buy anything from Amazon, click on that little link that we provide on our page because it helps the shows and doesn't cost you anything else.
Not a dime.
This show is copyright 2021 by Twisted Blue LLC.
And check out our Medium hub pages and vocal media at Brutal Nation.
I forgot about that part.
You did.
Because I don't have a sticky note.
You don't. I need to get some sticky notes. But no, I mean, and it's really, it really helps us out a lot. But you get the full articles and it's easier, navigation and stuff like that.
And pictures.
Yeah, and you actually get more access to other things on those sites as well that, of interest to you that we don't provide. So.
No, that's true. That's true. But no porn.
No, they don't have porn.
They
Sorry.
should. I like porn.
I know. I get the videos.
This show's copyrighted 2021 by Twisted Blue LLC. All rights reserved. We look forward to hearing from you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.